All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are so excited for the 2025 Windermere Twilight Sprints. You can see the crews just kind of starting to assemble here at the finish line of the Montlake Cut. You got a great view looking down the cut from the finish towards the start line of the 2K race course. We're going to be having some good races here between the Huskies, the New Zealand teams that have traveled to Seattle, and then Indiana University as well. Very excited. I'm Steve Todd, class of 1999, here on your race call this evening, and joining me, Phoebe Grady, Husky of 2018. Phoebe, these night sprints, they're going to be done in a flash. Tell us a little bit about what the night sprints are.
Thanks. Glad to be here, Steve. These night sprints and the Twilight sprints, it's fast. You're fast racing. It's high energy. We're going to start at the 2K finish line for our races tomorrow at Windermere. We'll be at that finish line, racing reverse all the way back up to the ASUW Shell House, the infamous Boys in the Boat Shell House. It's going to be 600 meters. You're going to do a start, no shift, just as fast as these crews can go. So you can kind of have some fun, a little bit lower stakes than tomorrow, but there's definitely still going to be some friendly competition going on.
Yeah, I think that both these crews here in this first race, we're going to be setting up. We got two races this evening, the men's race followed by the women's race. Going to be a head-to-head race for the men, New Zealand versus Washington. And then when we move on to the women's stage, we got four crews tonight. We're going to have the Huskies in the gold, and then the New Zealand national teamers, Indiana University, and then the Husky purple crew in lane number 4. So it'll be an exciting four-boat race for the women's races.
It's a beautiful day out here, nice and sunny, just starting to get a little of that twilight hour. We can see crews starting to kind of line up here, again, at that finish line of the Montlake Cut. You might be able to, at the end, see a little peek of the log boom that is really starting to fill up, which will make kind of that really fun event tomorrow for Windermere Cup. And this is just a great way. There's the party on the cut, a lot of people having fun, lots of alumni here, lots of spectators. Just one more event to kind of add to one of the best weekends in rowing.
Yeah, and there we go. We've got the drone headed up towards the finish line of our night sprints, and then you can take a look out at the crews and the coaches out there, and then the yachts lining up both sides of the race course here. Fantastic day today in Seattle. It's been sunny, beautiful afternoon. And now we are looking at the party on the cut there at the old ASUW Boys in the Boat Shell House there. A great spot where Windermere's hosting their party in the cut. And just with a quick mention of Windermere, thank you so much to Windermere Real Estate for helping put on this spectacular event and tomorrow's all-day affair, where we'll have great racing all morning long, followed by the Seattle Yacht Club Boat Parade. Just, it's been talked about for years with the Windermere Cup, how it is just such an epic free event that just celebrates so much of what Seattle's about, just the community on the water that we get to celebrate here and kick off the start of the boating season. So please join us tomorrow if you can. Make your way down to the Montlake Cut. Should be great racing. We got a whole slate of races, Phoebe. We start things off with some Masters races. I hear you're going to know some racers in the early first race of the day. And then we'll be moving into some junior races and then all the collegiate races, and wrapping up with the awards ceremony and then on to the boat parade.
Yeah, if you show up at 10:15, you may see some 2024 Olympians, unconfirmed, racing down the cut. We'll see if they're, shaking off the cobwebs from Paris to get back out there. But it'll be a great event, one of those really special events in rowing where this and kind of Head of the Charles are kind of some of the penultimate U.S. racing events for rowing. And it's really a testament to kind of the Seattle community, how friendly it is towards rowing and getting some new faces just to experience kind of all that rowing and this truly amazing community has to offer. And you can see there with that shot of party on the cut, just kind of the happenings and just expanding. And it's really awesome. Little live bands, lots of fun going on here as we are just about 3 minutes out from our first race of the day.
Yeah, and these first race here, we got that New Zealand team. It's kind of when it's the year after the Olympics have happened, it's kind of the key thing for New Zealand is development, kind of getting these guys are the young athletes that are entering the cycle. And there's also some of these Husky athletes, Logan Ulrich in particular in the Husky varsity, looking to be one of those athletes that kind of working on entering that, along with Harry Fitzpatrick as well as Ben Short. Those three New Zealanders in the Husky boat, kind of joining in with all these Kiwis in the New Zealand boat. They're going to be the guys that are kind of aiming for that 2028 Olympics and building up the New Zealand national team, which is just, when you look at world rowing, it's one of the top programs. Coach Callahan talked about it a little bit, just inviting this team over. Part of it is you want to invite the best teams around, and New Zealand certainly is one of those. So I'm going to go through the lineup for New Zealand really quick. We're getting it lined up. It's going to be a start to the race here in just a minute. So Harry Malloy is your coxswain for New Zealand. Flynn Watson, the strokeman. Oliver Welch in the 7th seat. Josh Vodanovich is the 6th man. Zach Rumble there at 5 seat. Ben Taylor at 4. Campbell Crouch in the 3. Cody Johnson in the 2 seat. And Henry Kirk there in the bow. Those guys are coached by Mike Roger and Calvin Ferguson. And joining them on the trip, Callum Tutbury is the spare for the New Zealand squad.
In that Washington boat in lane 2, we've got Nick Dunlop, the senior coxswain from Sydney, Australia. Strokeman is Ryan Smith from Germany. We've got our Kiwi, Harry Fitzpatrick, our senior from Auckland, New Zealand. 6th seat is Giuseppe Bellomo from Italy. Then we've got Sam Ford from Bath, UK. Logan Ulrich, who we mentioned, that Auckland, New Zealand, that 2024 Olympian. Jonathan Wang Nordrig in the 3 seat from Norway. 2 seats going to be Ben Short, also a Kiwi in this boat. Looks like we've got to start Blake Vogel in bow seat from Pittsburgh.
All right, and we've got side by side. You can see New Zealand on the right-hand side of the screen. The Huskies in the purple on the left here. New Zealand just edging out the Huskies in those first high strokes. I'm going to try to catch a quick rate check there for the Kiwis. Looks about a 48, and the Huskies laying down a little bit more power now, striding out with a little more length after they came off of those first 5 high strokes. Phoebe, they've got that lead now. Here come the Huskies.
Yeah, man, they're just outstroking the Kiwis just a little bit, but those first strokes are really strong, really neck and neck. Now you can kind of see that high rate might be paying off just a little bit for the Huskies. They are kind of inching that bow ahead, but that's a high rate to kind of last this 750 meters.
Yep, and there's the Huskies at about 45 and a half strokes per minute in the purple, pulling away. You can see there's Nick Dunlop looking across at, it looks about the 6th seat of New Zealand now, moving away. Really strong start from the Huskies. Phoebe, one thing we saw last week was when this Husky boat wants to hit max speed, we saw it in the final 200 meters last weekend against Cal. Think they're doing the same thing here right now.
Oh, yeah, there's some grit and there's some determination in that boat. Logan Ulrich mentioned that he really wanted to kind of lay it down. He's going to be racing with these guys in New Zealand in the next couple of years, but there's some pride on the line for him and his fellow Kiwis, and it looks like they are setting kind of a tone for tomorrow as Nick Dunlop's maybe looking at the New Zealand 2-seat, and they're really great race.
And over the line there. We'll get some times for you in just a second, but that was the Huskies walking away, just kind of creeping away over time. They got down those first 5 strokes or so. The Kiwis were really quick. I think what we see is just that they really nailed their start, those first 5 high strokes or so, and they stayed up a little higher. Over the next 5, the Huskies, once they shifted, they got that kind of traction you talk about where you're really trying to focus on the blade work, entering the water, and then getting those legs on it. Huskies moving well. Little reverse of the teams there, but that was the Huskies in a 133.4 and the New Zealanders in 135.3. So the Huskies just coming away with a good win. Last year, their winning time was a 131.1. I think that today, Phoebe, the weather's changed just a little from this morning and this afternoon. We got a little bit more wind blowing. I think that maybe just a touch of wind coming down the course there, but 133 for them. Great effort by the Huskies.
Yeah, great race on both boats. It's definitely going to set the tone for tomorrow. Up the ante just a little bit when they face each other tomorrow morning at the Windermere Cup. But yeah, just a little bit blustery out there, and you can kind of see a bunch of boats starting to get ready to line up. And as we approach the next 10 minutes, the women's race.
Yeah, we'll be up for the women's race in just a little bit, but really exciting. There's the official times for you. The Huskies 133.4 and New Zealand just under 2 seconds behind in 135.3. So like we kind of talked about, the Huskies developing towards the end of the season. They had a great step forward with an excellent race against California last weekend. They'll be moving down to the the Mountain Pacific Sports Foundation or Conference Championships there in Sacramento in 2 weeks. So next weekend's off for the guys, and then they head down to Sacramento where they'll face Cal for the second time this year, along with a really good Stanford crew, Oregon State, Gonzaga, UC San Diego, University of San Diego, and Santa Clara in there as well for that championship race before they head out to the IRA in Cherry Hill, New Jersey at the end of the month here. But very good racing from those crews. I'm excited to see a 4-boat race for the women. Should be exciting to see 4 crews across the cut headed out on this night sprint here. There's the crews. We'll be back to the finish line. We let the water kind of calm down between these races. Let the cut totally glass off before we race the second race of the night sprints here. So we'll be looking at the cut. Phoebe, it's a decent crowd right now. You think tomorrow morning, I think we're going to see a lot more boats here packing the cut.
Yeah, it's a fun time out there. This morning I got the chance to go out in the launch with the Washington men's team, and you got to go down the cut and see kind of the boats lining up, but we definitely can anticipate hopefully a little bit more filling in as people kind of wrap up their work week and get ready to kind of pack the cut. But lots of boats out there. We'll continue to hopefully see a little bit more. Just really fun environment.
Yeah, so the crew's just getting ready to go here. Shorter warm-up than you'd have for next or for tomorrow's racing. We'll have a lot shorter warm-up for this race this afternoon. Get out there, shake off the legs, lift that rate up really high, kind of get your starts in, get ready to go. So we'll see what they're doing, but excellent conditions out here tonight. We've got a crazy atmosphere here at the Conabeer Shell House at Husky Stadium in the Montlake Cut. You've got yachts coming in. You've got the spring game happening at Husky Stadium. Tons of fans out here to watch football today. And then we also got over at the Conabeer Shell House. We also have a fantastic celebration. Hundreds of alumni, friends, colleagues have shown up to celebrate one of the Husky legends, Bob Ernst. We're dedicating the bronze plaque to go alongside the legendary coaches of Washington. Bob joining his mentor, Dick Erickson, Jan Harville, all of the legends of Husky crew that are displayed there in those bronze plaques in the boathouse. And just what an honor for Bob to be celebrated for 42 years of great service to the university and to this team. I was over at the celebration earlier, and just fantastic to be there and celebrate the team and celebrate Bob and what he's meant to so many of us. And just my quick thoughts on it, on and off the water, Bob taught us a ton. And most importantly to me, just about family, about what it means to be a Husky, and about what it means to work incredibly hard every day for your teammates. So congratulations, Bob. What an honor to be up there in the Conabeer Shell House, and a fantastic dedication with all of our friends and family here of Husky crew coming together tonight. So again, just thank you to Windermere. Just fantastic that they put on this event every single year, 39 years now, the Windermere Cup, and just fantastic to put on such a great race. You can see the yacht club there over to the south side of the cut. Yacht club members who don't normally dock at the yacht club have come to celebrate. They'll be out cruising tomorrow, and we will have a ton of fans packing the cut tomorrow for all of these races. So should be very exciting. But we are a few minutes away. There's 8:25 is the start time for the women's Twilight sprints here. We will be joining you with those lineups here in just a few minutes. All right, so here we are. Looking, there's the crews getting ready. We've got to spread them out just a little bit. We can see from the south side of the cut, right hand side of your screen, closer to the yacht club. You got lane 1 over there. Lane 1 is the Washington Gold boat. That's the Husky varsity over there. Lane number 2 will be Indiana next to them. Lane number 3 is New Zealand. And then on the left-hand side of your screen, the purple Huskies, the Husky second varsity 8, will be there. So Phoebe and I are going to run through your lineups here. Should be some good racing. This same distance, that sprint race from the finish line up to that mark, right 600 meters or so, right at the ASUW Shell House for the finish line. So as we see these crews kind of stage in here, you've got the Husky Gold crew. They're in lane number 1. Izzy Michelson, your coxswain from Mukilteo, is a freshman there leading the Husky varsity. Megan Lee is your stroke seat. Sally Jones there in 7. Marilou Davernay-Tardif is the 6th seat. Aisha Rocek, your Italian 5 seat there for the Huskies. Zola Kemp there from New Zealand in the 4. And Killian Mullen from Batavia, Illinois. Actually, funny story, hometown where I was actually born as well. Chloe Shepard from the UK there. And Sophie Houston from Australia in the bow for that Husky varsity.
In lane 2, you'll see the coxswain wearing some red. We have Indiana with the coxswain Lily Gintert from Ohio. Stroke seat, Annabelle Ortel from Berlin, Germany. 7 seat, Kiwi from Wellington, New Zealand is Nico Daly. 6 seat, we have Madison Shanks, also from New Zealand. In the 5, we have Phoebe Inall from Connecticut. 4 seat, Abby Armstrong from Bloomington, Illinois. 3 is going to be Lily Murphy from Westport, Connecticut. 2 seat, we have Laura McCabe from Auckland, New Zealand. And holding down the bow, we have Grace Sappington, hometown Sammamish, Washington.
All right. And we got a start coming any second now. We'll try to get through these other lineups here. Probably going to wait to finish these, the New Zealand and the Husky second varsity as we finish this race. But we're going to want to catch the whole race here because it's really short and really fast. Here they go. All 4 crews off and running. First part, build speed. Get that momentum going.
Great start. Seems like a little bit of a hesitation from some of the boats. There'll be a better start tomorrow. But really great racing right off that first 5. Blades are a little bit close with these boats through the cut 4 across. It's going to take some top-tier steering from these coxswains. But it kind of looks like that right-hand boat, that UW Varsity 8, is just peaking out rate 47.
All right. And I think the Husky second varsity is probably the next closest to them. Indiana and New Zealand very close together, and this is where it's a little challenging. The cut is wide enough for 5 boats to fit through, but it takes excellent coxing through here to manage 5 boats. So 4 boats, we should have enough space, but there goes Izzy Michelson, that coxswain for the Husky 1V, and I think they've got the lead. We've got a very close race between these other 3, though.
Yeah, solid race as we get that top-down view. Really tight, amazing racing from those 3 boats from Indiana. It's getting tight with those blades, Indiana, New Zealand, and that UW boat on that left-hand side. But it is that Washington Varsity 8 that's really kind of setting the lead and really kind of dominating in this 600-meter race.
So here's about 100 meters to go or so. We can see, can New Zealand catch Indiana? Can the Husky 2V catch that Indiana varsity as well? Indiana's varsity, they've got some very strong athletes in there. Coach Steve Peterson's pretty psyched to see this crew race at the Big Ten Championships alongside the Huskies in a few weeks. But they're not going to catch that Husky 1V, but they got to hold off New Zealand and hold off that Husky 2V now.
Yeah, this is some great racing. It does look like Indiana maybe just kind of peeked their bow out, but that is a really close call between that Washington 2V and that New Zealand boat. But great racing there and strong finishes from all boats.
Yeah, over the line, very close together for Indiana and New Zealand there. That Husky varsity rowing away with it. Great race by the dogs there. We'll check those times in just a second. But you'll see all these crews out racing tomorrow as well. It's going to be very, really should be some excellent racing. Good conditions for these crews, and we should see a great 2K happening tomorrow. But that New Zealand boat, and let me run through your lineup really quick. Annabelle Scott's your coxswain there. She was a New Zealand U21 national team member. Alana Sherman was your stroke seat. She was in the pair at the 2024 Olympics for New Zealand. Isla Blake was University of San Diego grad in the 7. Ella Castle, if you've watched Husky rowing the past few years, you've heard that name before. Husky 2021 Pac-12 Women's Rower of the Year there for New Zealand, rowing for New Zealand now. There's your times. We've got official times there. University of Washington gold 147.8. Indiana 149.4. New Zealand 149.7, and the graphic. There's the graphic 150.5 for showing New Zealand there in 4th. Well, I didn't catch if I thought New Zealand was 3rd, but close racing between those two, 49.7 and 50.5. So the rest of that New Zealand crew, Rebecca Lee, Isabel Melville, going to be a future Husky coming to Washington in the 4 seat. Hannah Mottahir in the 3 seat. Juliet LeCue in the 2 seat, and Sophie Egnott Johnson there in the bow seat. So good racing by that team from New Zealand. Isabel Elidius Watson was your spare for them, and then Tom Stannard is the coach along with Alice Denier, coaching that team New Zealand.
In that 2V Lane 4 Washington boat, that purple boat, we had Cox and Grace Murdoch from Atlanta, Georgia. Her sister, again, you'll see her racing out there tomorrow. In the stroke seat, we had Ava Muehlman, a Seattle local from Pocock Rowing Center. 7-seat Olivia Hay from Auckland, New Zealand, racing some of her fellow New Zealand and Kiwis. And then in 6-seat, we have Madeline Parker, again, another Kiwi in the boat. 5-seat Jessica Weir from London, UK. 4-seat, we had Emma Waters from Galway, Ireland. In 3, Leah Nash from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. 2-seat, Shakira Murfin from New Zealand. And in the bow, Jordan Freer from Lotus, California. So 3 New Zealand gals in that Washington purple boat.
So thank you for joining us. Fantastic racing in these night sprints. Beautiful shot there of the crews returning to the Conaver Shell House. The lights from the Husky Baseball Stadium on in the background. The lights from Husky Stadium and the spring game going on as well. Fantastic day here on Montlake. Tomorrow morning we kick things off. 10:15 is the first race of the day. The men's Masters 8s start things off, and we'll finish the day off at 11:45 is the women's Windermere Cup. Follow that up with the trophy ceremonies for the Windermere Cup and the Ericsson Cascade Cup as well. But thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed the racing. Quick, fast, aggressive racing from the Huskies, coming away with 2 wins, Phoebe.
We hope to see you tomorrow at the Windermere Cup, and let's go Dogs.